My wife called me ugly in front of her rich friends and dumped me at a restaurant on her birthday, leaving me to pay for the dinner for 20 people. The words echo in my mind even now. The clinking of fine china, the laughter of people who didn't know me, the sparkle of expensive dresses, and sparkling eyes, all of it blurred into humiliation. I sat there, silent, cheeks burning, gripping my fork like it could anchor me to reality. Rebecca, my wife, was radiant that night. Her hair fell in perfect waves over her shoulders. Her laugh rang out across the dining hall, every note polished, rehearsed, confident. But her words had cut sharper than any blade. "You're ugly," she had said, voice dripping with cruelty. Then she turned to her friends and smiled as though nothing had happened. I wasn't sure the silence that followed was pity, shock, or amusement. I only knew my pride was gone. She had left me there to pay the bill for 20 people, a punishment I could never have imagined. I walked out, wallet lighter, heart heavier, into the rainy night. The city lights blurred like tears in my vision, and that's when I saw her. Her name was Lila. I first noticed her weeks earlier at the coffee shop near my office. She was different from Rebecca's world. No wealth, no designer labels, just soft eyes and a smile that seemed to understand the weight people carried. She noticed me too, not for my job, not for my status, just for me. That night, drenched and bitter, I ran into her outside the restaurant. "You okay?" she asked, her voice gentle, her hand brushing against mine. I didn't answer. I couldn't. Instead, I let her lead me to a small cafe down the street. Inside, away from the clinking glasses and judgmental eyes, I finally spoke. Every humiliation, every lonely night, every ounce of neglect in my marriage poured out. Lila listened, truly listened, not with rehearsed sympathy, not with pity, but with understanding. The next week, what started as comfort became desire. Every time Rebecca belittled me, ignored me, or left me alone, I found myself thinking of Lila. Her hand on mine, her laugh that didn't judge, her eyes that made me feel seen. It was intoxicating. One late night, Rebecca had gone to a gala without me. I sat in our apartment, alone with the quiet and the ache in my chest. My phone buzzed. Lila. She was waiting just a few blocks away. By the time I reached her, I didn't even think. I kissed her and the world shifted. It wasn't love at first sight. It was relief. It was a human need to be wanted, to be seen, to be needed. But soon, the lines blurred. Lila became more than relief. She became my obsession, my escape, my secret happiness. Days turned into weeks. I juggled Rebecca's world and Lila's warmth, my lies growing thicker, my heart heavier. I hated what I had become, but I couldn't stop. Then came the birthday incident. The public humiliation had been planned. I realized later, as if Rebecca wanted to expose my weakness, my smallness, before her friends. And it worked. But the anger it ignited in me didn't just burn, it freed me. I walked straight to Lila's apartment that night. She opened the door without hesitation, already knowing I would come. I broke down. I told her everything. And for the first time in months, I laughed and cried in the same breath. With her, I could be human, flawed, vulnerable, and alive. But the world isn't kind to secrets. Weeks later, Rebecca found out. I don't know how. Maybe the way Lila's hand lingered in mine in public. Maybe my sudden brightness when I was with her. But she confronted me with fury and cold calculation. "You think you can replace me with her?" she spat. "After everything I've given you, after the life I built for us?" I stayed silent. My silence was louder than any confession. The fallout was devastating. Family dinners became battlegrounds. Friends whispered. My reputation in her circle was ruined. But I didn't care, because when I ran to Lila's arms, I finally felt like a man again. Flawed, yes. Guilty, yes. But alive. We didn't have wealth or status or the approval of anyone who mattered before. We had each other. And in a world that had humiliated me, mocked me, and left me bleeding emotionally, Lila became my sanctuary. I never forgot the sting of Rebecca's words, the laughter of her friends, or the way she left me to pay for the dinner. But those moments also led me to Lila, the woman who showed me that love isn't about appearances, money, or approval. Love is about being seen, being wanted, and being human. And in her eyes, I finally understood something I had long forgotten. I was enough. Enough to deserve happiness. Enough to be loved. Enough to finally be free.